We're continuing on with daily bread, day and night, and this whole theme of living in the present, which is very hard for me. This Devo today is called the pillar. And in Exodus 13, we read about that cloud and the fire that God provided for his children to guide them. Another familiar story. And recently a picture popped up on my Facebook page that there are actually pillars of light that come down when ice crystals interact with the light. It's really cool. If you want to Google it, you can see actually what a pillar of fire or light might have looked like when it guided the children of Israel. So by day the Lord went ahead of them in a pillar of cloud to guide them on their way, and at night this pillar of fire. Neither the pillar or the cloud left its place in front of the people. And there are so many mentions again of days and nights. And I found that interesting. And again, the daily routine of the sunrise to the sunset is the key to this story. There's something huge in noting this, and asking for daily bread is completely saying that we are satisfied with living for today. The people were in an unknown territory. They were headed to the promised land. There was danger all around. They needed water and food, and they had no resources. Kind of sounds like life today, right? And this verse says God went ahead of them in a pillar of cloud during the day, a pillar of fire at night, to give them light so they could travel safely in darkness or light. Either one, because his presence was with them. And it says that the clouds of fire and the pillar of clouds never left them. So since we're talking about daily bread here, how much more could God have presented to his people daily bread than by sending his presence day and night? He used the cloud for the day, and he still uses clouds. Most every day there are clouds in the sky. They hide the heat of the sun in the summer, and they give us respite. They become heavy with rain when we need it on the planted ground for harvest. They show up and dissipate with cold fronts and storms that move across our country all year long. They're a big deal in the daytime. Everyone notes clouds. In fact, it's cool to me that God used the cloud to guide his people by day, and when Jesus comes back, it says he's coming in a cloud. That's pretty cool. Clouds remind us of provision daily in so many ways, and all the people had to do was follow it. And when they did, daily provision was theirs. It was obedience that provided the provision, obedience to follow his daily presence that he promised to give. So let's look at night again, because he also provided that pillar of fire at night. A pillar represents stability every day and every night, and God's presence hung suspended over them, and all they had to do was follow. Darkness meant nothing to God, and darkness doesn't mean loss or wandering or fear or any such thing. His fire was burning, and all they had to do was follow. The verse says he gave them both of these so they could travel by day and night. Give us this day our daily bread. The evening and the morning make up a full day. Days have periods of light and darkness, but neither are to bring worry or fret. And darkness doesn't mean that we cannot move forward. God set forth so many signs in the skies when he dealt with his people, from the sun and the moon day and night, to the pillar of cloud and the fire, and even the rainbow that occasionally appears to remind us of all these things. Daily bread, it's a huge deal. And if we're not careful, we'll find ourselves in the same boat as the people to whom God gave these two symbols. They chose to take their eyes off the promise and observe the needs they had. Food and water and clothing often wins battles instead of following and trusting and obeying. And they lost sight of the cloud and the fire. And in other words, their needs became their focus instead of their daily bread of his presence. That was their downfall. They traded God's provision for guidance that he set in the sky for their own worries and frustrations, even raising a fist to God and their leaders in times of need. There's times when I've walked outside from a long day's work and taken a long walk in my neighborhood and thought of nothing but the hardships of the day, never observing a single thing above me. But when I do stop to note the clouds, the sun, the leaves on the trees, and all of the orders set from morning till night, somehow I come back in my house from that walk settled and calm, knowing that days and nights will never end, and neither will the grace of God to lead me forward. Focus on the cloud and the fire, the pillars, and give thanks for the provision of his presence, and remind your soul daily that he's more than enough no matter the need. He's the pillar of stability on which you can lean.